Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Write With Me at IELTS Juice. We have an essay from the Cambridge Book 19, and here is the rubric. Some consumers are increasingly choosing to buy goods that are produced in their local area rather than imported goods. So let's break it down. Many people these days prefer to buy the food that is grown or the products that are manufactured in their local area. Pay attention to the word area. It can be a city, it can be a region, a province, or a country. The word area here is intentionally broad and big. So it gives us the chance to choose. If usually we believe when we talk about import and export, we really start to think like a region inside a country or countries dealing with each other. It's a little hard to think, in case of continent, but if you want, that can be also a subject. But usually it boils down to countries or provinces dealing with each other. And what happens here, we're focusing on goods. So it has to be something physical, something that you need to make or create and then deliver or transport from one location to another location. And the whole message here says that people prefer to buy something from their own area, from their own province, region, country, and do not consume something that is imported. Let me give you one example. If you wish to have rice for your breakfast, then you prefer the type of rice your neighbor produces or your local farmer produces or the type of rice that is grown in your own country. And you don't want to buy rice, for instance, from a distant country because the taste might be different, or the food, the traditional food and cuisine that you have doesn't work very well with imported rice from another country. That's why you prefer to wait and buy the locally produced rice. That can be one reason. That can be one example for us to understand this rubric. Then we are dealing with two questions here. The first one says, what are the reasons for this? When we say reasons, we need to come up with, okay, what are the contributing factors? What caused this? Why do people behave this way? We had globalization some time ago, but now people prefer local items. And it's not just food. Food is a very good example, but not just food. Maybe artworks, maybe manufactured products. Some countries prefer to manufacture their own cars, their own electric cars. They don't want to import electric cars, for instance, from Tesla. So they prefer to have their own electric car produced and manufactured inside their own country. So these are some of the examples to help us understand the question. And based on that, we need to come up with reasons, plural. The second one, is this a positive or negative trend? It's a yes/no question. And our best approach would be to say whether it is a negative and then support it, or we believe it's positive and then again we support that. So based on that initial introduction, let me arrange the response here. I usually go for an attention grabber first. Say something catchy, like many cultures prefer to maintain their traditions and they're rejecting globalization. Whoa, many cultures are rejecting globalization? Well, that's a catchy subject. Why? What happens? Is there something wrong? What's the pressure? Then you need some connecting info. The role of connecting info here is to basically focus on the first question. And I want you to, in the connecting info, mention that, yeah, this trend is relatively new, and many people are taking their country or their economy away from the international community as a collective economy or global economy, and they are focusing on their local economy, and they produce and consume whatever is available in their own region because, the first question, of 2, 3, 4 reasons. 2 or 3 or 4 main reasons, essential reasons. And then in your thesis statement, I want you to say, now thesis statement is the most important sentence. So you need to mention that based on the 2, 3, whatever reasons that we come up with, and it has to be more than one, you believe that this is either a positive or a negative trend. I am going to call this a positive trend, and that's me. You can call it a negative trend. I don't mind. Nobody minds actually, so don't worry about this. For the sake of this video, I'm going to stick to positive trend. All right. The rule of IELTS questions is that you have 2 questions here, so basically you need at least 2 body paragraphs. What I'm going to say in this body paragraph, I am going to focus on the reasons behind this new short-lived trend. I say short-lived because I can see this present continuous format. The consumers are increasingly choosing present continuous. That means it is temporary, it is short-lived. It's not fact, forever, routine. It's not any of that. That's why I need to focus and say why this is happening. Reasons can be different. You can say maybe it's because it's cheaper, or it's healthier, or you may say it helps your local community. It's good for the local market. Whatever the number of reasons, make sure they're distinct, and distinct means you separate them, and each one of these reasons receives proper development. So when you say it's cheaper, you might want to say there will be no transportation cost, and many people prefer locally manufactured or grown items or foodstuffs because the first reason is that they're cheaper. You don't have any transportation costs, or the transportation cost is minimal. And you make an example. You say the vegetable, you can come up with a type of vegetable. You can say parsley. So parsley is cheaper if you just transport it in less than 24 hours from the farmer's kind of farm or silo or wherever they keep to the Grand Bazaar or the local market. And you can also say the second one. It's fresh, it's healthier. Why? Again, another example. Fish is a tasty meal, it's healthy, but it's very hard to be preserved. And it's very important that we get the local uh, produced fish to the consumer as fast as possible. And try to use, I don't know, your vocabulary. If you know vocabulary about fish, if you don't know, use chicken. If you don't know, you know lamb, beef, pork, whatever it is. Maybe you want to talk about art. That would be another reason. And art, um, not many people, for instance, may understand your cultural art. You can say handcraft items, hand woven baskets, if you know how to use these words. I'm trying to give you some examples in this case. Uh, sharpening knives can be a skill, especially in the Japanese culture. It's a huge deal to produce knives. Anyway, I'm coming up with examples that you will understand and you will later be able to use. The second body paragraph, there you go, is going to focus on the fact that this is a positive trend. And when you say it is a positive trend, you believe it is positive. Why is it? Because it has these qualities. Certain qualities are there. So we mentioned the reasons behind this trend, but you need to also mention, if you believe it's a positive trend, that, oh, it's a positive trend. Look at this quality. If we say it's cheaper, okay, and you can come up with the quality that over time this will enrich the economy. Local farmers, producers, manufacturers, business people will benefit from this. The economy will grow, and that is many people will be able to stay. So it stops immigration. That has to be positive. The young will not leave the country. They will stay and they will contribute to the tradition and to the locally produced healthy foodstuffs or their locally manufactured items. Another positive quality of this would be to enrich the culture. So this one is the economy, this one is the culture. You will have a country, the country will maintain its tradition, and the other generations will be able to also take this benefit. It will not disappear. Sadly, due to the invention of many the machinery and many machines, we these days experience that hand prepared items are disappearing or they're very expensive. The more people who are interested in that effort, the richer the culture will be. And it will help the sense of unity, it will help the country, and it will help the other generations to have the same experience as you had, and it will be passed down from generation to generation. I want you to name those qualities and look at it as a positive trend. If you believe it's a negative trend, then again, the whole thing is the same, except the quality for that negative trend should be mentioned. The final paragraph is where you need to state your thesis statement. So the thesis statement and the connecting info will happen here again. You talked about the reasons, name them. You believe this is a positive trend based on these two reasons, or the reasons A and B are the main or the essential reasons behind this trend, and you believe it's a positive trend, namely that the quality with these qualities, namely A and B, and you will have them here. If you wish to come up with predictions, suggestion, anything, you can predict how this will turn out. You can say, oh, I believe this is a positive trend, and if we maintain this in the future, the other generations will be able to experience the same phenomenon. I understand that this might be a little challenging because we just talk about the nature and the position of these sentences, but in reality, when we start writing, there are multiple challenges that we need to overcome. Don't worry, we have an example on this rubric. To watch that, click over here. If you wish to see other videos and continue watching such videos with this green little apple over there, please click over here. And remember, eat healthy.